My name is Jose Gutierrez. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for Westlands Water District, and I'm here to talk about water supply, and in particular, how our contract year started with the allocation from the Bureau of Reclamation, but also how the water year ended. Our contract year for our allocation runs from March 1 through the end of February of the following year. Now the water year starts on October 1 and ends at the end of September of the following year. Our allocation for the 2020-21 water contract year ended at 20%. Now the initial allocation provided by Reclamation was 15%, and that was in February of 2020. And in May of this year, the allocation increased to 20%. Now the importance of receiving that initial allocation from Reclamation is, and this is the way I felt and many others did too, was that Reclamation really sharpened their pencil and maximized the allocation that they could have given us at that point based on the hydrology that we received in Northern California for the water year that ended in September. With that 15% allocation, what that did was it really helped for planning purposes. It not only helped the district, but it also helped our water users in Westlands with making any late planting decisions. For example, like cotton. Because the allocation was 15%, it helps those landowners and water users possibly decide to maybe fallow that land instead of moving forward with the plantings of the cotton. It was all tied to the hydrology and the allocation. So that's how it benefited our water users. It benefited the district because it helped us plan how much supplemental water we had to buy on the open market. So we were able to pursue purchases with willing sellers up in Northern California and also south of the Delta to augment our allocated supply. And this year we purchased close to about 120,000 acre feet of supplemental water for our users. So it really helped us with that planning process. Not only did it help plan the supplemental water, it also helped us forecast about how much groundwater we were going to pump in the district. Because with the allocation being 20%, our water users had to rely on groundwater and supplemental water to finish off the year to irrigate their crops. So it really helped with that planning process and that conjunctive use, how to balance the use of groundwater and surface water to meet their demands. Water users, when they're planning out their groundwater pumping, they prefer to use groundwater before the summer starts, before that peak irrigation season, because surface water is more reliable. If your groundwater well goes down in the summer, that creates a lot of problems and potential hardships for you. So you use your groundwater wells prior to the summer and then turn more to surface water during that peak irrigation season. So having this allocation, this early allocation announcement by Reclamation really helps set all that in motion and helps the planning process through your irrigation and through the summer. That's how the allocation worked in or tied into our planning process at the district level. Now, how did the water year end up? Well, the water year ended as shown on this precipitation graph for the 8-station index. And just a reminder, the 8-station index is primarily in Northern California and runs from about the Delta up to close to the Oregon border. Now, the 2019-2020 water year, which ended in September of 2020, finished the year at 31.7 inches. That's about 20 inches below average. So the hydrology was pretty dry, which was the reason we received a 20% allocation. The storage reservoirs, in particular San Luis Reservoir, actually ended up in pretty good shape. The reservoir ended with 361,000 acre feet, which was 117% of average. And that was about 50,000 acre feet more than average, and that's the 15-year average. Now, where we are today, the reservoir has actually increased in storage, but we've now dropped below the 15-year average, so we're slightly below 100%. We're sitting at 96% of average. And the reason this is important is that the hydrology has continued dry. We have about 3.5 inches of precipitation in that 8-station index. So we are about 42% of average or below average. And that's impacted the pumping at the Jones pumping plant So there's less water making it into storage at San Luis Reservoir. But there's still hope. Where the precipitation total is now, it's about where we were in the 2018-2019 water year. And that year actually ended with about 20 inches greater than average. And our allocation for that year was 75%. So there's still hope. There's still hope that going forward, we will experience a sustained wet period, and the precipitation totals will increase, will eventually catch average, and hopefully exceed the average. So I think only time will tell what happens to our weather and our hydrology, but we're all hopeful that Reclamation will work with us, and we will come up with an early allocation again in February, which will help the district plan, will help our water users plan, and hopefully this time next year we'll have a better report on how the water year ended, and I'll be able to report to you that Reclamation was able to give us a 100% allocation, and we were able to deliver that water to our water users, and they were able to put most of their land to productive agriculture. So until then, look forward to speaking with you. Thank you.